दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत.
Lucknow Junction.
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವರೆ
Hyderabad Punjab Express Dayavasi Station Netaji Bhavan. Hereby down.
How is that for Punjab's largest? On Bengali New Year, this is their way of saying Shubho Nobo Borsho to the KKR team. You're watching Voltas presents Cricbuzz Live. A very happy Bengali who was disturbed while he was having a lovely dinner meal, and Simon Doull as well. We weren't prepared to come here this early, were we?
How inconsiderate of them. Halfway through Kana and all of a sudden they're all out and we've got to pack up the food. Very inconsiderate.
They've upset one Bengali, but the other 11 Bengalis are happy.
I know, the others are all happy.
No, even this Bengali is happy. I'll take it.
I'll take it. He's happy with half his dinner. He's okay.
Yeah, well, there's still some truffle fried rice and some pizza waiting for Joy. Now, this match summary is not going to be a happy sight for Punjab fans. What was happening, Joy? Were they aiming for 300?
No, I think it's fair to aim for 300 or anything when you start. Okay.
Yeah.
Your first few overs have gone. Your first couple of batters, they picked out the fielders from the deep. But after that, my problem is after that, because the first two have to go for it.
Yeah.
In 20-over matches, when you're batting till 8 with impact subs and all, that I can understand. What happened after that was just inexplicable. I mean, partly some decent bowling, their inability to be able to read the guile and spin of people like Varun Chakravarti and Sunil Narine. But that's a problem, that so much of this, especially the early mess, was their own doing.
It's a double-edged sword, isn't it? A team that can bat big and that can score big runs. Was this Punjab being stubborn, saying this is our plan and this is what we will do come what may?
Yeah, look, and I think sometimes it will come off. But the worst thing you can do and say, and I do say this quite regularly, so sorry if I'm sounding like a broken record, but you play the situation, you play the game. You don't just come off and say, well, that's the way I play.
Yeah.
It was actually a decent start. And to be fair, great catch. Shreyas has picked the fielder out, Rahane deep, but it was a terrific catch. It was toe into the bat. He was trying to hit it all the way, or maybe just a little bit finer, and a great catch. So there's a couple of moments where you think, all right, that can happen.
Yeah.
But there was some inexplicable cricket through the middle, as Joyce said. From that situation, you got to say, okay, guys, it's not 220-30. How do we get 160 here?
Yeah.
How do we get 165, 170?
Yep.
And some of that batting through the middle order there were just some poor shot options, some inexplicable batting, some terrific bowling. Give it to Varun, give it to Narine.
Yep.
There's some good bowling in between, but you just can't be walking off with 111.
Yeah. Was it, Joy, a hangover of not being able to defend 245? Did that be on their mind at all?
No, I don't think so. I think it's that, okay, we are an aggressive team, we'll bat. Wait, I want to pull out something, and this is from the Cricbuzz scorecard. Nokia is bowling to Maxwell and Surya on Shekde. And you've just hit 2 fours.
Yep.
Okay? And you're saying, okay, Nehal Vadera is seeing the ball. He's being able to time the ball. He's seeing the ball. Okay? Your team is already in trouble. Your team has already lost 4 wickets. Okay? And then he inexplicably tries to hit again and, gives his wicket away.
Yeah.
Now, my point is, you are now in a situation where you're desperate. Now you've hit the bowler for 2 fours, you've got something.
Yep.
Don't take a stupid chance at that. So those were the decisions that were inexplicable to me. I have no problems with somebody not understanding at all what is happening. Yeah. But for Josh Inglis to attempt a shot like that, 3 minutes into coming in with your team 3 down is something I don't understand.
They were 4 down in the power play. At that stage, some sense should have prevailed. And I was really hoping Maxwell would do what Maxwell is known to do. He hasn't done it for the last 13 innings, as we saw in the pre-game show. And he just played a strange shot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he got one more than his average.
Yeah.
Let's be fair to the bloke. No, I'm sorry. Joy can't help himself right now. But no, it wasn't. He just couldn't read it. He couldn't read it. It was a really good delivery. And Chakravarti, we had that quote from him prior to the game starting. And he's so true. It's so right. It doesn't matter what you see on a computer. You still have to play me.
Yeah.
You still have to figure out where the ball's going, what it's doing. It was a beautiful delivery. Again, he'll look back at the shot and think it was just the wrong option. You're trying to hit it in the place where instead of going just straight down the ground, straight bat, looking at the line of the ball, he just tried to hit it too square. and lost his stump. So disappointment again. I think we have heard though that Stoinis is injured.
Yep.
So we can kind of retract a little bit of what we said in the pre-show about, we couldn't quite understand why they'd kept Maxwell ahead of Stoinis, but Stoinis is actually injured for a couple of weeks, they're saying, or at least a week in a bit. So we can kind of take back that from the start of the show, but it was still a pretty ordinary shot and another performance that he won't look too fondly on.
Lots of contenders for the worst shot of the day. My pick is Josh Inglis. Cross-parried hoik when he faced his 5 deliveries of Varun Chakravarti.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's something a number 9 batter who's just not reading him at all. Okay, you can't read him, you're not very sure. Defend, you've lost 3 wickets already. It's not as if you're in a great situation. So that's what is inexplicable to me. See, I always, from the beginning, why I had lowballed the score. I mean, I thought I'd lowballed, but as it turned out, I was
You're nowhere near
nowhere near.
No, our prediction was for the full game. Wasn't it? I thought it was.
Right. Well, if you need your prediction right for the full game, you need Punjab to take
Yeah.
get them out to 80. But no, seriously, I mean, that's my point. That, see, mystery spinners are very difficult for late order batters to play. And at one time, they used to say leggies are difficult. But, if you're nothing, if you're even Xavier Bartlett to come out from Australia and suddenly see Sunil Narine and Varun Chakravarti, he wouldn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
So it's difficult to play at the best of times. But if you are allowing your top order batters are throwing it away and allowing that tail to be exposed, there's nothing you can say about it.
Shashank Singh and Bartlett were involved in a partnership of 23 runs of 25 balls. That looks like a really, really long partnership. At least play out the full 20 overs. We saw a strange run out which ended the innings. What does it take to play out the full 20 overs?
I think that run out symbolized what this innings was all about. And if you see that, it's just looking at it, it was dreadful. They didn't know what they were doing. They called for a 2. They didn't know where they were going. It symbolized the shambles that this Punjab effort has been. It's been a shambles.
Yep.
And it's not been a shambles just because the bowling has been great. Yes, the bowling has been good in parts. But so much of it is being thrown away by Punjab themselves.
What do you reckon Ricky Ponting would have said or should have said during that strategic timeout?
Oh, wow.
Because there was one before the 10th over.
Yeah. Look, I mean, it would have been something about what can we get to. And you talk about batting out the 20 overs. To me, in that situation, it's like, can we get 150, 160 in 16, 17 overs? If we get bowled out, so be it.
Yeah.
Because it's probably not going to... Batting the 20 overs is not the only thing. We still have to try and score, and especially when you're already 4-5 down. So look, he might have said, look, guys, if this one goes sideways completely, so be it. But we've got to try and get to 160, 170.
Yeah.
Because if we do just block it around and continue to just maybe look for the 1s and 2s, we might eke our way to 130.
Yeah.
And I don't think 130 is going to be anywhere near enough anyway.
Yeah.
It's a tough one because you're asking guys to do a job that they shouldn't really have to do.
Yep.
When the top order's all failed.
Now, I don't know what's served to players for dinner at the Mullampur Stadium, but Ramandeep need not worry because Harshit Rana is buying him dinner for the rest of the IPL. All those 3 wickets, courtesy some terrific catching from Ramandeep. And then in came the spinners, and it just looked like it was a matter of time before the
And
innings
it's a home
would wrap
match for Ramandeep. He's a Punjab boy.
Surely, yeah.
It's a home match for them, and just look at that. I mean, 21 for 2, even though you look at it and Sunil Narine is 3, typically doing Sunil Narine things. For me, the pick of the bowlers today definitely was Varun Chakravarti 1 because they just couldn't read him.
Yeah.
And I thought, and Harshit Rana just has that knack of, taking wickets. I don't know how he does it, but he just keeps taking wickets.
Yeah, they kept at it and it really worked. And Varun continues to be difficult to play for most batters across teams. Now, I think already 10 wickets in the tournament, contender for the best bowler of the tournament already. This bowling group is doing it without any contributions from Andre Russell.
And they haven't really asked him to bowl a lot at all. What's he
Hardly.
bowled? 5 or 6 overs in the tournament so far, which is a good sign.
Yep.
It's a good sign because they might need him at the back end of the tournament. I've said throughout the time I've been here that Vaibhav Arora, Harshit Rana are doing a terrific job. When 3 of your number 1s are all local players. So your two seamers and Chakravarti.
Yeah.
Key local players. Nokia back just adds that little bit of spice to this KKR lineup, I think, from a pace point of view. He's able to be that enforcer that Joyce talked about earlier as well. And then Rahane just does what he does. The last two games, he's been simply brilliant after just an okay start to the tournament. So it's a crack-looking bowling lineup. And they've got other options if they want, albeit maybe part-time options, but they do have other options if they need them. They just haven't really had to call upon them too often. And today was another example of that.
They're not missing Mitchell Stark?
Look, at this point, they're not. And if you look around as potent bowling attacks, they're about as potent a bowling attack as you have as going around. If you're looking around at all the 10 teams, who do you look at and say is much better than KKR? And I think part of it is because Harshit Varun has been consistently able to get wickets. Because he adds that, and then if you add, and Nokia has just come in, so it's made it much better. I think he's up to full pace. And he's not at his best, certainly. You can't be rusty, you haven't played for a while. But he's cranked it up already. And this should be a fearsome side, because if they sort their batting out, if their top order gives them a few runs, then this is a very formidable outfit.
On a pretty good batting surface, Punjab have just not turned up, and that means that KKR have a chance possibly at going top of the table. They were at 5 with 3 wins, 6 points, but the team at number 1 should be worried, Simon, because there is a solid chance of KKR finishing it in 11 or 12 overs. Should they be doing that? Should they be worrying about that? Or do they say, let's just take the win, let's not worry about net run?
Well, a lot of it comes down to what they do at the start. And I mean, you know how Sunil Narayan's going to play. If Sunil Narayan bats 6 overs, then they should look at net run rate, because if he bats 6 overs, he's probably going to have 40 runs. And by that stage, if they are 35 to 40 short, none or one down, then just go. Just keep sending them in. Send Russell in if you want. Give him an opportunity. Because, your net run rate will count for something at the back end. And if you get a chance to put a game away early, absolutely do it.
Would they have the guts to go for it?
Of course they will. Of course they will. And I think, you see, the rule normally used to be, in 10 years back, is till you're 3 down, you go for 100. Okay? After you're 3, you bat in the hatches and said, okay, I don't want to take any more chances. And now, that rule was then, 8-10 years back. Now with your impact sub, perhaps, you can look at your top 3 going within 7-8 overs, you'll still go for it.
They chased about 104 against Chennai in 10.1 overs. So, they are in the mood to bat quickly in the second innings. And if it does go well, who knows? This is where the campaign can really take off for KKR. And just being at the top of the table for a few days, even if it just makes the mood different.
Yeah, because they actually have their teams with 4 and 2, who are the same place. So they'll be going, the point is they're going to be 4 and 3 when they reach there. So they can get caught up at some point in time, but it's just a huge confidence booster, because what's happening is they've been alternating losses and wins. So now this is going to be their second win in a row, and not just second win, second big win in a row. That's going to count for something.
And they play the next game against Gujarat Titans at home, and hopefully the pitch curator will do his bit to help KKR's cause. Rahane is not one to get into any controversies, but for now, KKR will want to take this win as quickly as they can. Now, Punjab, how do they give themselves a chance of fighting? Do they go Chahal and Maxwell in the power play, do something different, mix it up, stir the pot? What do they do?
I mean, you've got to see if it swings first and foremost with Arshdeep. If it swings and he can pick up a couple, then maybe look at those left-handers and think about Maxwell. Chahal will have to have a role to play, but you don't want to give it away inside the power play either by bowling guys with only two men out. You do try and have to stick to the guys that bowl best with only 2 fielders out. So I think Jansen and Arshdeep will probably look for wickets early on. If they can get them, then maybe they can put a squeeze on. But, this is 90-95% Kolkata game if they play anything like. I didn't see anything in that pitch that disturbed me about wanting to go out there and bat on it.
And that collapse meant that they couldn't bring in a bowler. They had to bring in Shegde.
And Shegde bowls a bit, but he's not picked for his bowling, definitely. Look, point is exactly as he said. Sunil Narayan is also a murderer of spin bowling if you just pitch it up to him. So they won't take the chance. I think they'll go with Arshdeep and Jansen, which is their best hope up front. And they just need wickets. And don't be surprised that if they're going well, they'll bowl 3 each up front.
Would there be much said in the KKR dressing room right now?
Would there be?
KKR? Would they say a lot to the openers? Score and have fun.
Most people in these small gaps, they don't talk very much. It's very much about, firstly, the batters, okay? They need 5-6 minutes to just sit down and get prepared.
Yeah.
So they'll go straight, put on their pads and sit down, because before you walk out, you want to... So normally, half times in these games, there's not much chat.
And I don't think Narine needs a batting chat anyway. Right? He'll just go and do whatever he does, right? He doesn't. You don't need to talk batting to Sonny Narine.
Exactly. What is Chandrakant?
Quinton de Kock is vastly experienced. So I would say they would just be left alone to their own devices. Put your pads on, get your helmet and go out there.
Enjoy yourself. It is the Bengali New Year. The Kolkata Knight Riders fans will be watching very closely, and they'll be hoping it can be an early finish for the Knight Riders, and they could well go top of the table at the end of this game. Only 100 and a bit more to chase. So enjoy the innings. But before you go, quick predictions. Power play.
61.
Ooh, that's big.
I've got them going big. I will go 68.
1-1-2 to chase for a big win. I am going to go with 60. 10 and over. Easy peasy. Go for it, KKR. Enjoy the innings and make sure you come back and join us at the end of it on Voltas Presents Cricbuzz Live. Bye-bye.
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत.
Lucknow Junction,
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವವರೆಗೆ
Hyderabad Punjab Express, Rahane Station, Netaji Pavilion. Cricbuzz.